going to finally get my answer on DEI from you?
I only have time for just, I always say this, but I only have time for just a couple questions because I'm running late for a meeting. Yes. Yes.
I know you've said that everyone who was deported was either a gang member or a violent criminal, these Venezuelans.
Yes.
But we've learned of at least one man who has no criminal record here in the U.S. according to his deportation orders, and he had no criminal record in Venezuela either. So why do you think someone like that should be sent to a
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm confused by the question. Is it your position that a member of Tren de Aragua who is in our United States illegally should be allowed to commit crimes limitlessly until such time as that individual is incarcerated? That it should be open season on Americans? The TDAs come in, it's like ISIS coming into your country or Al-Qaeda coming into your country. And that you let them stay here, catch and release, catch and release, catch and release, and then eventually, only after they've served some prison time in America do they get sent out. Our job is to send the terrorists out before anyone else gets raped or murdered. Other questions?
The protest outside the White House last night featured Palestinian flags, but also I saw Hamas flags flying outside the White House. Does this administration believe that the flying of these flags could be a national security risk outside the White House?
Well, I'll reframe the question to just say that the administration continues to take the view that any foreign nationals who are visiting our country are prohibited from supporting any designated terrorist organization such as Hamas. Any other questions? Yes.
Is President Trump still calling for the impeachment of Judge Boasberg in this case, despite what Chief Justice Roberts said yesterday?
Of course the president stands by his comments, absolutely, as do we all, as does the entire administration. You cannot have a democracy where single individual district court judges can assume the full total powers of the commander-in-chief. Even on the Supreme Court, it takes agreement of 5 Supreme Court justices to change a federal policy. 5. A single district court judge out of 700 cannot set policy for the entire nation, let alone on national security and public safety issues. The president has been clear that he has tremendous respect for Justice Roberts and believes it's essential the Supreme Court crack down and stop this assault on our democracy from these radical rogue judges that are usurping the powers of the presidency and laying waste to our entire constitutional system. Last question.
Can you explain more? Can you explain more on the democratic terrorism issue of the Teslas being destroyed? Can you explain more on the issue of the Teslas?
Yeah, the president strongly condemns left-wing domestic terrorism in the clearest and most forceful terms we possibly can. Yes, quick question.
Two things. I think what she was trying to say was that, not arguing that there were TDA members on the plane, but there were other people. Is there going to be other evidence?
They're all trained Aragua. And again, let me give a concrete example of this just to illustrate the principle here. Let's say that you have a family living in a neighborhood, and next to them, they have little children. Next to them is a trained Aragua gang member who, as a document of the proclamation, are sent here by a hostile regime and is the most violent, ruthless, criminal terrorist organization in the Western Hemisphere. So, do our counterterrorism officers arrest and remove the terrorist, or do we say, we'll leave you there, you can rape and murder the people next to you, and then after you rape and murder them, and then only then will we remove you? We're not going to let anyone get raped or let anyone get murdered by terrorists. All right, I got to run. Thank you.
This was not a ruling or a judgment. It is a stay. It's on the record as a stay.
Thank you.